Yes, what's up, guys? We are live.
Yeah, link is absolutely fine. Welcome to
Absolutely
Life
fine.
Indeed.
Welcome to Life Indeed, where we discuss life the way it is not.
Absolutely.
So
Piyush,
it's
you just
going to
continue.
be,
I'll just check all the platform if you're live or not.
yeah, sure. So it's going to be our first episode, not first episode, second episode on Saturday 7 p.m.
Yeah,
because earlier we used to do our live sessions on every Thursday at 10 p.m. But from last week onwards, we have started conducting our live sessions on Saturday 7 p.m.
yeah,
because we received a lot of requests and a lot of feedback that on Thursday, because it's 10 p.m., a lot of people were not able to join us, and especially the people who are living abroad and who are following us on Life Indeed podcast. And for them, we have switched to this Saturday 7 p.m. so that more and so that we can reach to more and more number of people, and we can also get connected to more number of people, so
yeah.
eventually we can increase or uh, reach to more number of people and increase our length of value which we want to add to this world. So welcome, guys. And today, in terms of guest appearance, it's going to be our first episode. So, Tosif, why don't you talk about something, that how are you feeling about
Absolutely.
this new change time and something about that?
Thank you so much, Piyush. It was fantastic introduction. So, as Piyush said that the reason why we have changed this timing and we came back afresh because we wanted to take the voice of Life Indeed to the to more number of people, and also be able to cater to people who wants to join us, who wants to come and share their experience on this podcast from the eastern part of the world because of the time issues. And this that is the reason we have taken this step. We have announced, and we are thankful to all of those people who have given their inputs, that it was a good change. They welcomed it, and they also provided certain suggestion that why don't you go ahead and put a poster, stating about the new timings of this Life Indeed podcast. So we have taken that feedback and we will work on that for sure. Thank you so much. And talking about this podcast, we invite people from all across the world, and we it's not an interview, it's a very personal discussion that we have. And it's not a question, it's not something that we ask question and the other person is here to answer. People are free to express themselves. We just have a very impromptu discussion wherein we predominantly discuss about the life experiences of the people who
Absolutely.
comes here, and especially those perspective, and especially those perspective after those experiences in their life, which can
Right.
teach something to all of us, and we can learn
Correct.
from each other. In continuation to that, we are almost done 20 plus episodes. I think today we are doing the 22nd episode. And we are honored to have yet another guest, but I would love my co-host Piyush to invite him, and then
Absolutely.
we will continue from there. So over to you, Piyush. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tosif. So I just want to correct you. Today is it's our 20th episode, not 22nd.
20th episode. Thank you so much,
Yes.
Piyush.
Yeah, so I'm really excited and, in fact, very much happy also about our today's guest. So, from my childhood only, I always wanted to talk with someone with a background of army, with a background of real life war situation, because it's always fascinating when you are watching a movie. And I'm a big fan of Hollywood movies where you see a lot of action, lot of war action. And at the same time, I'm a very big fan of superhero movies. So for me, like, the definition of a superhero is, but obvious, a superhero need to have superpowers. But the most interesting and most uh, you know strong point of any superhero is that unbeatable intention of making difference in people's life and impacting the world, even at the cost of his own life. And I don't think so that there could be a bigger sacrifice than giving your life for someone else. And that
For
is
the
why
nation.
I'm very much excited and happy to share, happy to talk about our today's guest, who is from an army background, and he has reached to the colonel level, and it's our privilege, it's our, we are so much lucky that we are going to have him in our life indeed podcast. So please guys, help me to welcome Colonel Tyagvir Raghava, who
Round of
is
applause for Colonel.
big,
I
big,
mean,
big inspiration.
always
I
fascinated
really,
to talk to people who are army men
absolutely,
because they save the
absolutely,
nation. We are honored to have
absolutely,
you, Tyagviji.
absolutely, sir. So first of all, sir, thanks a lot for accepting our invitation and giving this amazing opportunity to talk with you. And we are looking forward to know some fascinating and some adventurous experiences from your side. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, Piyush and Tausif. It is, in fact, I'm very happy to be there on your show, and I'm looking forward to a great conversation with you guys. And just to give a brief introduction about myself, I'm basically originally from state of Uttar Pradesh, which is the biggest state, and my schooling was done there. And thereafter, I did my graduation from Delhi, and after the graduation, I immediately joined this Indian Army, and I worked there for around 23 years, 23 plus years, and had a very colorful service. Thereafter, when I found myself that I am at the limbo, I wanted to have a further experience the corporate world, and so I decided to move over. Rather, I did not retire; I re-attired. I changed my
Wow,
uniform. That's all.
Hmm.
So I
absolutely.
re-attired and got into the corporate job in 2008, and finally, I am still in the corporate and working there, and that's why I am here with you guys.
What's your age, sir, by the way?
I shall be completing PUs 60 now.
60. Wow, and you are
Yes.
still working.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I think the very first uh, the advice or takeaway from your life is like, at the age of retirement you are still working, and in terms of excitement or in terms of definitely physical fitness as well, you are still looking forward to work for another 10 years, I think so.
I would say, Piyush, that in life, keeping yourself fit is the most important thing. And that gives you the total confidence in you. If you are fit, you can think of doing anything, you can take any challenges, you can feel financially confident. The first and foremost thing that unless you are absolutely fit yourself physically and mentally, then sky is the limit. You can continue working, you can continue achieving whatever you want. So first and foremost, that I learned right from my childhood, that one thing which one should take the topmost priority is the physical fitness, and then rest everything falls into place.
Great, sir. Great.
I think it is a millennium advice because, and I think more because you have been into army, so it might be in your blood. I mean,
Absolutely.
not many people, are very habitual when it comes to, taking care of their health or making the health as a priority. But someone who understand the importance of health, I think, if you're healthy physically, emotionally, mentally, I think that's when you can think of doing something else or additional. So I think it's fantastic, and people can learn from you. Even at the, as Piyush said, that even at the age of 60, you are thinking to keep yourself fit. When most of the people think of retiring. So I think hats off to you, hats off to your energy, and you're still doing a great job. I was just going through your bio. I mean, the kind of thought process you have, the vision and mission that you have, and I'm pretty sure that you're going to do great, even at the time when most of the people think of retiring. So,
Absolutely.
the very common question that we always ask, talk about any experience from your childhood, which you think was a groundbreaking event or an incident, and that has taught something to you?
Or I
Uh,
always like to connect this question to another question, that was it somewhere in your mind when you were a child that I want to go into the army, or what exactly was going on when you were a child?
so I'll take one by one. This Tosif says first, that any childhood incident which
Please, sir.
really uh, made me think that yes, there is some difference in the life. And another question which I will take of this Piyush, that what inspired me to get into this. So first come first, let me tell about this childhood incident. See, we are from a farmer's family, basically the farmer's family. Though we, neither my father nor my grandfather, nobody did farming. My grandfather, way back in 1937, he was a graduate from Allahabad University in 1937. And pre-independence, he was working in Delhi in the Viceroy's office. But unfortunately, at a very young age, he passed away because of his uh, cancer. Because there is no treatment now. Also, there were no treatment that time also. So then the entire when my father was just 15-year old, and I had my uncle and aunt as well. They were younger, so they all moved back to the village in the UP again. And so my father then got married, early marriage, and then I was the first child. And then my whole schooling, everything happened into the UP only. District Aligarh is my place. So one of the incident, because since it was a farming and we had a land which was being cultivated by some Chaudhry Sahab, who used to give some rent on the yearly basis, and he used to cultivate that. When there was a need of irrigation, it was a wheat crop. This guy will not come in the night, because the everybody knows that in the night in the villages the electricity used to come for a very short time, maybe sometime 6 hours in the night or maybe 6 hours in the daytime. So whenever there used to be turn of the coming in the night, this guy will tell a excuse that by the time I come for the tube to switch on, somebody else come and take the water. And I was just maybe in the ninth or 10th class. So I used to wonder, because my father was not staying with us that point of time. I used to wonder that why this guy is not irrigating the crop which is drying up. And after seeing 2 3 days, I suspected that he's telling lies. Okay. So one day I decided, if this guy doesn't come today, then I'll take some drastic action. And what was the drastic action? I went to the tube, which was very close to our house. It was our tube only. And he used to come from a different village. Now, since he has taken that land on the, you can say the yearly rent or whatever you call it, but this guy didn't turn up despite the promise that he will come and take switch on the tube well and take the water. When he didn't come, so I had two options. Either I should come back and go to sleep at home, or I take a drastic action of that. I go to his village, and I was young lad, might be of 14 or 15 years, and I wake him up and get him along with me. So without even asking my mother and all, I took a decision. I went to the next village, which must be around 3 kilometers away, dark, through the crops, which was already grown up. And I reached that village and I went to his house. I was chased by dogs as well, which were barking in the night because it was night, 12 o'clock or so. And this guy was sleeping to his glory. I woke him up. Chaudhry Sahab, aapko to aana tha pani lene ke liye, kya hua? He was stunned, surprised that how such a young lad can come to me and wake me up. I got him along. I made him to switch on the tube and take the water. So that incident, just that fear of unknown, I got over it. I already had in mind that what else? If I am going, somebody else will come in front of me. Why to fear it? And that is one incident which changed my perspective of not being afraid of anything. So that is one thing which Tosif has said. Regarding Pius, that what inspiration, Though in my family, direct family, nobody was in the army or in the defense. But whenever I used to see the army people, especially I had one of my relatives, my Fupajis, who was already captain that point of time. So whenever I used to see, I say that if this guy stands among the 100 people, I can point out he's from a different organization. And that was one inspiration at that young age. Ki, why this guy looks absolutely different. His way of standing, his way of dressing up, his way of conducting, his way of talking. And that was just a back of mind. Subconsciously, it was there. No decision by then that time. And that is what, in fact, inspired.
Okay.
I think, yeah, when you see people, successful people around you, you often try to emulate them. I mean, I think Piyush and I also had the same experience when I was in 12th standard. So in Uttar Pradesh, there was a prevalence that students who would pass out or who would be studying in 12th standard, they all will, in all probability, will try to fill the forms of NDA and army. They will run for miles and miles to prepare for the physical test and all. I was also among that. One of my tuition coach, he actually filled the form for NDA, but I never got a response. But my family never wanted me to go to any war and all, maybe in army, because one of my aunt who still lives in Delhi, she said to my mom that he's the only kid. Why do you want to go here, and why don't you go ahead and get into a job? Because they were feeling insecure, though it was one of my childhood dream that I always wanted to join army, and that is the reason I love army uniform. you know it doesn't matter how much it costs, but I have one. Along with shoes, hats and all, I have them, and I keep it a very special place, and I always wear it whenever I want it. So
Great.
back at my heart, I was always
Army man.
willing to join army. And then that is the reason I have a very high regard of all the people. That respect naturally comes out when you see somebody wearing that uniform, when you see somebody you know uh, being in the army, not because what they're doing, but obviously the service that they're doing for the nation, that brings automatically a lot of respect from anyone. And that is the reason these people are highly regarded in India. I mean, that's so. I mean, when you were talking about your experience, that I could resonate. That is the reason I thought to share my experience as well. So, Piyush, what do you say? I think you also spoke
So
about something.
yeah, absolutely. So, sir, I would like to ask this question that suppose today somebody is there at your place, like somebody is like 18, 20 years, and who is just looking forward to make his career. Like, what could be those reasons, or if I construct my question like this, that uh, why somebody should, I mean, join army instead of going into the corporate? Because I'm seeing a lot of people, and so what could be that one reason that why they should, it's definitely army is like, the best uh, organization where you need to learn a lot of things and you will get exposed to a lot of things. But still, so nowadays, like if you see today's generation of 18, 20 years or 22, 23 years, they just want to live that comfortable life, so-called comfortable life, so-called safe life, so-called they just want to sit behind the computer. They want to work for 8 to 10 hours, and then after that they want to do whatever they want to do in their life. But then I mean, my question is, I mean, I want you to inspire these people that going into the corporate is definitely one of the options, but going into the army is something which they might not be able to realize right now, but after 10 years or 20 years down the line, if they choosing to go into the army, they can live a completely, I mean, they would have never imagined that kind of life can live basically. I hope I was able to communicate
Yeah.
my question properly.
Yeah. Yeah. In fact, I will cover the entire spectrum what you have said. See, what Tosif has said, that he had to appeared for the NDA, and he tried and other things, and finally he couldn't join that. Tosif, me also appeared when I just passed, or during the 12th class. Twice I appeared in NDA exam, but I failed. I couldn't make it through the NDA. Okay. Then my family and I decided that, okay, let me do the graduation. So I continued studying in that, and finally I took a route through the first 3-year diploma, where in the UP board, I topped that institute, and then I had all the best academic career. And thereafter, I joined this Hindustan Aeronautics Limited. So Piyush, what I said, that I was already working, and during that working on HAL, Hindustan Aeronautics Limited, I completed my graduation also, side by side.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Hmm.
Because I completed a 3 years diploma, and then I was to complete engineering. So then I completed that side by side while working in the HAL. So it's not that I didn't have a job. I was already working in HAL.
Hmm.
Okay.
For HAL, working for 1.5 year or 1 year, 7, 8 months, I moved on to Department of Electronics, Delhi. Okay. And there also I worked around 7 months. And while being in Delhi, I also tried civil services. I appeared for the preliminary examination of civil services. Why I am telling all this thing? Ki I all had an experience of public sector, government.
Hmm.
I was even trying for the civil services. When I was trying for the civil services, I got this opportunity. By then, my engineering was complete. I was engineering graduate, and I got this advertisement of army, where I applied for it, and I got a call letter for Service Selection Board (SSB) in Bhopal, and I went there. Now, answer your question, that why the people should get inspired, despite that you have a government job, you have a public sector job, you even aspiring to be civil servant, civil services. But I went for that exam against the wishes of my mother. What Tosif also said, that I was also alone. I was only son of my parents, like Tosif has mentioned. So my parent never wanted that I should join the army. Okay. But the bottom line came when it took 6 days. The initial service selection board, they take 6 days to shortlist you. Okay. Very first day they send you, the people come in the hordes of 100, 200 buses भर भर के आती हैं स्टेशन से, और
Hmm. Right.
चली जाती हैं. Even one guy is not selected.
Oh.
So the 5, 6 days it took me for initial screening, that is called group task, psychological test, or many other kind of tests. Thereafter, the entire selection, we were just 11 got selected. Okay, out of these 11, finally the interview and everything done, we go for the medical. Another 5 days, 6 days this, another 5 days for the medical. You will be surprised that out of 11, where the somebody was brigadier's son, somebody was the colonel's son, somebody was something of big shots, all brilliant in academically. By the time they were out of the complete medical, none of us was finally selected. All were rejected.
Wow.
Somebody permanently, somebody temporarily.
Partially.
Okay. Okay. But those who are rejected, they are given a something called appeal. You can appeal. Like since it was in Bhopal, it's a small hospital, so you can appeal in Delhi. Now, I also appealed it, and finally they examined thoroughly. That was some issue with the eyes, which they wanted to know. And then when they scrutinized properly, they said, "No, is it perfect? Fine," because they have only one book by which they were testing those color vision. But here
Hmm.
in Delhi, they have a better equipment and other things, so they found everything suitable. Now, 11 days process there after that appeal, and it took another 15 days to finally get through in the medical.
Wow.
Okay. When this whole thing happened, I was at the crossroads because my family was not permitting me. And
Hmm.
I was so excited, only one thing, that I may get through in the civil services. I may even get selected also. But the kind of process which army does it, where thousands of people you get selected and then finally you get rejected in the medical, means what a difficult process is there.
Hmm.
And finally, I took a decision. I convinced my mother, and especially my mother was more concerned that why as a alone. She used to tell, तुमने कभी हाथ में डंडी तक नहीं उठाया और तुम वहां जाके बंदूक कैसे उठाओगे? Because I was so innocent or so novice. But I took a decision. I went there, and let me tell you, I am confessing today. I carried after the preliminary exam. I carried my all civil services book of mains, that I will continue preparing that, and if I got an opportunity, then I will get back to this. But after 6 months, I decided the kind of excitement, kind of you go through the adventure life. I decided I may become a IAS officer, but I cannot become a army officer second time
Wow.
if I leave it now. And I brought after 6 months, I brought all the books and kept it at home. This is my profession. This is my calling. I will continue this.
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely. So this is,
Amazing.
I mean, you nailed it. I mean, this is what I wanted to know. Because and one more point which you mentioned, that either I think army or defense, army, air force or navy, uh, everywhere, it's the only organization where either you are coming from a background where your father or your great grandfather has a legacy, but still you have to get into the process. You cannot
Yeah.
get the direct ticket.
No,
It's very difficult,
you
and you have to go
you
through all the
cannot.
And
You
process.
I
can. You
think
can't influence.
exactly. And I think it's the only organization where this kind of process is there.
And I think you can't even bribe them, right?
No, not
Not
at all.
not at all.
And
Not at
actually,
all.
Tosif, these were the only thing which made me so this thing.
Hmm.
I may become an IAS officer. Maybe these,
Hmm.
but if I don't join now, probably I may not get it even next time, second. And
It's all about the experience that you had out there after.
yeah, and the kind of selection process is there. It's a brilliant means you are selected out of thousands of people. One, what not they check? They check whether your hand is straight or not. What angle, whether you can salute properly or not. What lacks? Even eyes itself has got a 25 test. We don't realize that. So
Hmm.
that kind of stringent selection what they do, and once you are fit for joining that, I think there is no reason why one should not join
You're
it.
almost like a
And
superhuman.
yes, means
Absolutely.
superhuman means that is the
Absolutely.
you can say the selection process is such that you are chosen out of thousands of people. You are one of that gem
It's
medically,
very good, yeah.
mentally, spiritually, physically, and the government spends a lot on that.
Absolutely, and that's why, in fact, I heard this from Captain Raghuraman. You must be knowing, is
Yeah,
one of
yeah,
the from army background only, and then he's into corporate. So he said that in one of the podcasts that even after retiring from army, this like your kind of army person can join at any level of any organization because they have that kind of exposure, that kind of experience, that they can manage, handle any kind of situation in any organization. So I think you can throw some more light on that.
Uh, see, Pius, the best part of this organization is that, and that is what interested me, or that is what excited me to join this, because I was not designed for a desk kind of job where you sit
Oh.
down and continue doing some one kind of job. I was of a person where there should be adventure. You are outgoing. You are doing different thing at different times. So
Mm.
that kind of experience you get into the army only. Okay, army or navy or air force, where you are not doing one thing. Sometimes you are a judge. You are taking those kind of decision where the lives of people is different. You are becoming judge. Sometimes you are a accountant. You are doing accounts work also. Sometimes you are a technology expert. Sometimes you are a fighter. Sometimes you are a foot soldier. So what is the kind of job which you don't do in the army or the defense?
Absolutely.
You are made to do
Absolutely.
any kind of job anytime. You are made to live even in Jhampudi, and you are made to live even in Bangalore. So you are so resilient that you can fit in any kind of environment. Difficult, the greatest of difficulty, and the greatest of pleasure. So
All
we
the way there.
experience right from the minutest of the thing to the biggest of the thing. Where will you get that kind of experience? You will not get it. The hardest of the thing, the easiest of the thing. So that makes you resilient to fit in anywhere. Even our children, they go through this kind of situation
True.
because 3 years he is in this school, next 3 years he is in the eastmost, next 3 years he is in the southernmost, or the two after 2 years, or maybe he in the high altitude. So, including the officers, their family also gets so resilient, they can
True.
adjust, they can fit in anywhere. And that is
True.
the one reason that whatever task is given to us, wherever we are, we take it with a great pleasure and we can implement that
Absolutely.
without any problem.
I
Absolutely.
think it pretty
Absolutely.
much answers the question that Piyush has asked. Ki, what should be the inspiration the younger people, who wants to, pursue a career apart from corporate, because a lot of people just go and chase for the job that they want. But if they want to pursue a career in the army, what could be a great example than this? That as a
Absolutely.
human mind, we always seek novelty. If we keep on doing the same thing repetitively, it becomes very monotonous. And take an example of any job that you do. You know, if I do the same task every day for a year or a 2 year, I may get bored unless it is my passion. So when you gave an example that when you were in an army, you worked as a fireman, you worked as an accountant, you worked as almost all the positions. So it gives you a lot of exposure to learn everything,
Absolutely.
and you got an exposure to different situation. So you become, as you said, that you become resilient and you can withstand any challenge in life. So I think
Absolutely.
what can be a great example as you gave. So I think it's an inspiration to all of the people, younger people who are in 12th standard, who are doing graduation, who wants to join the army. People can learn from you.
It's our humble request that at least try to know, try to
Hmm.
gather, knowledge as much as possible, that this could be an option, and not only option, but it's and
It's the way
most
of life.
importantly, way of, it could be a way of life. And the most important thing is, as Tyagvi sir mentioned, that you get a lot of experiences, and
Yeah,
I don't think so that other than uh, army organization, there could be another organization which can give you chance to experience so many different types of things which you want to do in your life, right? And life is all about experiences. In fact, that
absolutely.
is what we are doing right now, that we are sharing each other's experiences. So I'm pretty much sure that an army person or air force person or navy person must be having thousands and thousands of stories to share, because they have experienced that kind of things in their life. When you and against that, if you ask to or talk to any corporate guy, I'm not trying to defame or demean any profession, but we are just trying to understand that why it is more fascinating and why someone should explore this option as well. So I mean, it's just amazing, and I'm so much fascinated. And one more example is, as sir said, that army people can be fit to any situation. So the
Yeah.
biggest example is when government stuck to any either it is natural calamity
Yeah,
or man-made calamity or anything where they feel stuck, they just simply call to army, and
they become
they
the
just
forefront of
do
every
that job.
challenges.
In fact, this corona situation also, when people were facing a lot of trouble with respect to oxygen, availability and all, who can be there? And I think that is why I say that you guys are superhero, because you always, you don't worry about your own life, about your family. You just simply sacrifice everything and then you work for humanity. I mean, hats
Real
off to
life
you guys.
superheroes.
Real life superheroes.
And Piyush and Tyagvir, if you allow me just a minute, I would like to shout out for the
Please,
people who have joined us.
please.
And thanks, Joy, and everyone who has joined us. Joy is saying this learning of resiliency is so useful in leading life. Great message. Thank you so much.
Thank you
And
so
he's saying
much.
that life is all about experiences. Piyush brilliantly said. Yeah, thank you so much, Joy. And thank you so much for joining. And Vishakha, Vipul, Ramzan, Vipul from Gujarat, Ramzan from India, okay. Vivek, Bilaj, Bijal, sorry to mispronounce your
Bijal.
name, Ambreen. Thank you so much for everyone for joining in and listening to a great experience of Tyagvir sir and getting enriched from his knowledge and lessons that he has learned from his life that he has already shared. But to all the people who are young, and I think that we already discussed that Tyagvir sir has already given so many reasons as to why you could pursue a career in army. So I think
Tausif,
it's just fantastic.
Tausif,
Yeah.
another important thing which is for the youngster is very good is that they can pursue their passion. Means if they are adventurous, they won't get a better opportunity than anywhere in the defense. Okay, they,
Absolutely.
their passion of they wanted to be a good player of any kind of maybe hockey, football, volleyball, or they wanted to be a good mountaineers. All kind of facilities are given. Not only that, even the technology wise, the defense is the most
Yeah.
modernized organization now. Okay, they can pursue if they want to be the best of the programmer, they want to be the best of the communicator or the best of the any kind of technology. The first, if it comes in the defense. Okay,
Yes.
so people should not think that when they go to army, if they are technical person, they will miss out on their knowledge or education. No, they get all kind of opportunities. All kind means it is the sphere of the life is so big that they can pursue, they can excel in any field and every field. That is the beauty of
Absolutely.
these organizations.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, sir, why don't you share some of the experiences? I mean, while you were in your role as an army officer, can you share some of the any of the story, like war story or anything, like which can be, because for us, for civilian people, it is almost like a dream.
Okay,
We just cannot imagine. We can experience from your thoughts with your words, and it would be our pleasure to have some of them.
so just to make your viewers a little aware of the functioning, you see, the army is all about courage and commitment. For that matter, any defense organization is a courage and commitment. Everywhere there is you have to show the courage and you have to show the commitment, consistency, determination. These are the few characteristics which an army officer or a Jawan should have. Okay. I remember an incident when I was serving in Leh Ladakh, where the temperature goes as low as minus 40 degrees centigrade. The place called Dras. If somebody wants to Google, can Google it. The
Yeah, I
temperature
mean it
time
was
it
in
goes
news.
Dras is the coldest place in the world, habited place where the people also stay and still it's the coldest. So we used to have a one company there, okay, that the brass in that general area, and where I was placed, that was the headquarter of the unit, which was little far off. And one day our exchange, the communication exchange, broke down in the night. Okay, when this broke down, then what had happened is that because by morning 5 o'clock the communication report has to go. Every morning 5 o'clock you have to tell from the all wherever the people are there that everything is okay. That is called okay report in the morning itself. Now, unless there is a communication, that too in such an environment, how can you give a report? You can't give a report. You have to keep the communication. It's not like that after 1 hour it will get all right, or after 4 hours it will get all, or we'll see it tomorrow. Chalega attitude doesn't work there. Okay. Because if morning report has to come to the commanding officer or to the general officer commanding, who is the commandant of that area, then it has to happen. So this problem started somewhere night, maybe I think 9 or 10 o'clock. Okay. And that place from where we have to get the part of that exchange, it was around uh, in the mountains. You don't count the distance with the kilometer, you count that how much time it will take. So time required was that it will be at least 6 to 7, 8 hours. So that means the whole night is required. And you will be surprised that me and my commanding officer, we both were standing in the exchange the whole night till the time we got another card of the exchange. That somebody went from that place, got the card from other place, and by morning, since it was 5 o'clock reporting time, by 4:30 or so, we got the card, replaced it, and made the communication functional. And then only we went to sleep and relax. So that is the kind of situation you have to be ready for. And it gives you immense satisfaction because you did not allow that our troops to be without communication. You see, the human life is very
Wow.
important because you are
Absolutely.
serving for that human lives, because they are the ones who work for one of your word of command. They are ready to give life. So you have to preserve them. You have to look after them. And how can you do if communication is not there? And communication, I was a communicator. I am basically the communication engineer. So
Imagine we have the same commitment in our life.
yes. So then this is the one incident I can remember offhand, that how that night me and my commanding officer kept on standing till the time the exchange becomes serviceable, and we made it service. Then only we took a rest. That is the one
That's
incident which I can
that's
relate.
really, in fact, like I'm having goosebumps while listening
Blown
to
the
your
mind.
story. Amazing, amazing. The two words which you said, sir, courage and
And
commitment.
commitment.
I think these are the
Another
two words.
another incident of courage. If I tell you again,
Yes,
it's
Please,
please.
sir, go ahead.
yeah, it is related with me only. This was when I was just commissioned, means way back in 1988 or so, after 1 year of service. And again, since I was the communicator, and I was responsible for the communication link, and that was somewhere in Punjab from one location, and Rajasthan in another location. So there was a chain of detachments. Okay, like you have a cell communication, there are one cell side, another cell. Similarly, in the defense, you establish a chain of communication where after 20 kilometer, one detachment, then another detachment. So you can imagine from Punjab to Rajasthan must be around 20 odd detachment. And I was responsible for this chain of communication. And my job as a officer commanding for that chain was that communication should work without fail. And since everywhere the human are involved, so you are responsible even for looking after their welfare, whether everything is going on, even the administrative logistics also you are responsible. So overall, and that is where the difference lies. See, when you are in the civil organization, you must be responsible for one item, one thing. Okay. But there, once you are at that position, you are responsible for everything, starting from the individual salary to his well-being, to the technical part, to the administrative part. Everything you are responsible as an officer. So one fine day, I was going, because I used to go and take the state of every day physically, and you are supposed to lead by example, not that you spoken on the phone and then happy situation. No, you have to physically visit them. So I used to visit as many of them detachment as I can do in a day. So one detachment, I was reaching there, and it was a desert where nothing else, and it was summer, maybe of June, temperature maybe somewhere 50 degree or so, And I reached to that detachment just to see that yes, it is functioning fine. The chain is working okay. There is no issue with the people, and every detachment have 10 to 15 people normally. I went there. I was as a captain. I went there. My vehicle. I was in a jeep. That time it used to be village jeep, very old kind of jeep. I went there, and then one Jawan Havaldar, we call it, he came and he received me. And I can see 15-meter away, there was another vehicle, 1 ton, we call it, 1 ton, chota truck. Okay. Fuel has come in that. Fuel means that diesel, petrol, or something. Because you run the generator, you are in the middle of desert, there is nothing else. So to run those communications, you need a power, and so generators are there. So you need a fuel, diesel. And this fuel which has come in the vehicle was supposed to be unloaded, and this was being unloaded by the people. Now, since it was dark, little dark, one of the Jawan, we used lantern for the light outside, because inside the vehicle there is this thing. But since it is a, you can say that exercise situation, you can't use light outside. So that a small lantern you use it. And this guy, because when he was unloading the fuel, it was falling on the ground. So he brought that light lantern next to that vehicle just to show that ke fuel waste na ho. Okay. But he didn't realize that lantern may it's only one glass, but the fumes of that, those fumes of that the fuel which was being unloaded, that was petrol, diesel, everything, those were in the environment. And the moment he reached close to that truck which was being unloaded, the fuel was being unloaded, it caught fire. And mind it, I was just 15-meter away,
Hmm.
vehicle sitting there and watching that. Now the see the situation. The moment it was fired, and the entire vehicle, because the drums which were with the fuel, they all caught fire.
Caught
And
fire.
out of fear, everybody ran away. Now I am also watching, and I know that these guys. Now this is the crisis point, and that is where the your how the selection process work, how this people are selected. There were two options. Means it has to be instantaneous response from your side, instantaneous reaction from side. The only reaction which was there, the immediately I got down from that. When the people, the Jawans were running away, I ran towards the vehicle, because I know that if it is left for even for 2 minutes without any action,
Hmm.
the whole vehicle will be burnt out. Not only that, some people may also get hurt, or maybe
Hmm.
that main vehicle, which was the equipment were there, that can also get burned out. So just to avoid that, and it was a reflexes. It was a reflex. There was no time to think. I ran there, and the only thing which came in mind, that because they were all around sand, it was a desert. I started throwing the sand, and when I was throwing the sand over that fire, okay, I was shouting, okay, वापस आओ, sand डालो. Because I was calling them. And when I did that, जब उन्होंने देखा ये सांप भी कर रहा है, ये हमारा अफसर भी कर रहा है, then all came back. And when all came back from all directions, we started throwing the sand. We extinguished the fire within 45 seconds or 30 seconds. And that saved the
Amazing.
day. So
Awesome.
that is one of the things. Had it not been contained in time, probably I would
It could have led to disaster.
Amazing, sir.
have.
Amazing. In fact,
Not
joy.
many people have that
Yeah,
kind of reflection or the reaction, the instantaneous reaction. I mean,
that's something amazing.
that's what
Tausif,
makes the hero's
As
Tausif,
you
difference.
say,
there is a one word called crisis. Okay, I believe it is a Latin word, and the crisis words, the meaning is the point of decision. Okay,
Hmm.
and when you are at the crisis point, there are always two ways. One is you go left, another is right. Right way is you become a hero, and left is you become a coward. So that's why the word point of decision, the crisis word means. And crisis, this courage doesn't come from somewhere outside. Courage is that on the crisis, when there is a crisis, how you react
Hmm.
bravely, or how without fear you take action. That is the courage. Courage
absolutely.
is not anywhere where you can means have a pill and then develop that. It is that how you act or react to the situation.
How you exercise in crisis situation.
Yes, yes.
Absolutely.
That is the courage.
And I
That is the
think
courage.
that makes the whole difference between someone who is I mean,
Licker and
a
a follower.
normal, regular person, follower, or
Piyush, somehow I would say that can come with anybody. See, it is just a matter of situation. Anybody can become a courageous that point. You don't know that you become a brave person. Okay. Even in the civil environment, you see sometimes those brave children comes.
correct.
Nobody teaches them. Okay, they just out of the situation. Somebody jumps and saves somebody. Okay, somebody climbs and bring out from that burning house or burning this thing.
Yeah.
So that instinct of being courageous. Okay, but you can build up that by taking those actions again and again.
True,
But if you retreat yourself from such situation, then you cannot. Then you cannot.
true.
So it could be anywhere. Of course, the defense is the place where such situation arise very often, and then you have to act. You got no choice because either you are there or you are not there because there is no
I
reason
think
that why you should run away or why you should not do because you are ready to fight. You are ready to give up your life. So that is one thing. Otherwise,
I
that this can come anywhere. Even day to day life, you have to be courageous.
absolutely. I think if I conclude, I can say either mediocre way or the army way.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm totally speechless. You know, I used to watch and listen the bravery stories of people in the books, the bravery stories of the people in the book. But today, I feel very honored that somebody who's directly from the army, who has been on a leadership position, is directly discussing with us. And I feel like I'm a part of family. And then somebody feel honored to actually directly talking to somebody who is sharing his experience of bravery and courage and commitment. So thank you so much. I mean, I'm
So,
totally speechless. I mean, I don't have any idea of asking you any questions to you, to be honest.
Actually,
I was
we,
just
we both
engrossed.
are we both are speechless. In fact, one of our from our audiences, Joy has concluded something really beautifully, that veterans are a huge learning source and are great mentors. In looking for a mentor, having a veteran to discuss vision, plans, and goals is an advantage in many ways, and we are completely agree with
Absolutely.
this. So, sir, thanks a lot once again for being here and sharing all these wonderful stories, and
Completely blown away, to be honest.
completely blown away.
And
And
then
in
this is,
fact,
and I'm sharing this in front of everyone today. This is the first experience. Maybe it is our alignment towards the service of the nation and the people who are serving the nation. The stories that you actually talked about, I don't know if you have shared these stories on any other platform or any other platform,
no, no,
but
no, no.
since
I have not said.
these
First time I am sharing
caught
on
the
the
attention,
platform,
it's our
it
and
privilege,
absolutely
sir.
caught the attention. Thank you so much.
yeah. In fact, one point I would like to give it more. Okay,
Please, sir.
can I, Piyush?
Yeah, please, sir. Absolutely. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah. And it's basically for that people who are viewing or who are listening, especially the younger people. See, there is a lot of myth about the defense forces that once you are joining the defense forces, then you are bound to drink or you are bound to
I think it's a good point.
high altitude area. You cannot survive without drinking or liquor or these kind of thing. It's an absolute myth. Okay, because I tell you, when I went and left for the army when I was boarding the train to Dehradun. My mother only said one thing, and she said that, "Look, you haven't agreed that we wanted you not to join that, and you had a government service, you had a public sector service, but you did not listen to us, and you decided that you will join it. So we don't have a problem now since you are finally going. But the only thing we want expect from you, you should not change your habits. And the habits include that in my family nobody drank, nobody smokes, and she wanted that I should not start doing that because everybody had that apprehension. And I said that to my mother, this is the one promise which I will never break. And let me tell you, I served where that temperature goes as low as I told you, that 25, 30. I kept myself fit. There is no need of depending on any liquor or any kind of
Oh,
vices.
I think
You
it's
can
I'm hearing
survive with the
this for the first time.
vegetarian. Yeah.
I'm hearing this for the first time. So I would love to know, how did you do that?
Yeah. So, see, I can just tell you because from my experience, I can tell you, Toshib, that there is no requirement, even with the pure vegetarian khana and without any liquor and all, you can stay fit, 100% fit, and you can come out as a fittest. I went as a shape one. Shape one is the one when you are absolutely fit. And when I took a retirement after 23 or 4 years, I came as a shape one. I did not
wow.
change any of my habit. No drinking, no smoking, no non-veg, pure vegetarian. And today also I can run. I have taken participate into the 11-kilometer run, and I'm daily running, and there is no issue whatsoever. My all parameters are intact without any problem. And this is what I want to give a message, that people should not go with the idea that
Great, sir.
they force you there and you cannot survive without that. The most of the people have this apprehension, which is not true.
To be honest, this was unprecedented for me. I never heard about it.
That's
Absolutely.
why I
And
wanted
And
to tell
like,
you
I
the last message.
really
I'm
appreciate, sir.
assuming
I
that
mean,
there would be a lot of people like me who would be having this kind of perception that in army you have to drink. If you are in adverse condition, you have to, change your lifestyle or adopt certain things which may not be good for your health in long term. So I think you have busted one of the very biggest myth that even I
Yes.
was not aware of, to be honest.
No, this is the biggest myth, and means you can remain in the fittest condition. The only thing needed is whenever you are in the adverse condition, hostile terrain or hostile environment, you should work out daily. You should physically work out daily. That is the only thing, and that's why I am fit today. That's those daily routine I have not even left today. I still feel I am the part of the army
great, sir.
because those
Wow.
values I am still carrying in, and that is the reason that I can still work even outside, and that's why
Absolutely.
I am happy the way I am.
Fantastic.
So, with respect to your courage thing, Vishaka Bhardwaj is saying that totally agree with sir. Bravery is always inside us. Just we need to analyze and quick to take that action cause our one step can help to save someone's life. Absolutely right. Thanks a lot, Vishaka, for sharing this. So, sir, I don't think so that 1 hour is good enough to talk about your life stories because we are pretty much sure, and I already mentioned that army people have thousands of stories. So I think we already taken 1 hour, but we would love to have you again and again. And in fact, one more personal request from my side: if you can connect some more people, you must be having a lot of friends. Either
Army man.
they could be from army or air force or navy. We would love to host as many as people from defense, so that we can spread more and more awareness. And in fact, as Joy mentioned, that you guys are the best mentors, you guys are the best people from whom we can learn a lot of things, because as civilian we cannot understand certain things that when your senior is telling you कि जा बेटा जाके वॉर में चला जा गोली खा ले, वो बंदा सोचता भी नहीं है, विदाउट इवन blink they just go and sacrifice his life. So how that bond can be managed, or how things can be worked out in war kind of situation, we would love to know. Because if we can learn from you, this normal life is nothing. I mean, it's not at all difficult. So we would love to host you as many as time possible, and we would love to have some more people from your network on our show, because then we will be having lots and lots of life experiences at our platform, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, thank you.
It's
Tosif,
an
if you
absolute
would
pleasure,
like
sir.
to conclude.
I don't know, but I feel like it is incomplete. The discussion is incomplete.
Absolutely,
And I have a
absolutely.
very strong feeling, to be honest. And this is the first time. Uh, we would, as Piyush said, that we would love to have you. But I feel like there are so many questions which are left unanswered, and we would love to have you on again.
What Pius has said, that these are the ethos of the army, that you
Yeah,
lead by examples first. Why people follow you? Because you lead by it. You are in the front.
Absolutely,
It's
absolutely,
not that
absolutely.
you send the guy in front. You first go in front and then they follow you. Okay. You have to be
Experience will
stronger
share.
than them.
lead
Okay.
by
Then only they
example.
can follow you.
Absolutely.
Absolutely,
You have to be a
absolutely,
trendsetter, not the trend followers.
Yes. Yes.
absolutely.
Yes.
So
So
thank you so much
thanks a
for coming in.
lot. It's our privilege. Anything I like you would like to conclude, or a last message
Yeah,
said
any
from your
final
side?
advice to all of us and to all the younger people like us?
The only thing which I will give a message to the people is that, uh, see, firstly, keep yourself fit. That is very important. Take care
Hmm.
of your health. Okay, if you can take care of health, you can do wonders. That is very important part of it. That last message, which I would say, that whatever you have achieved thereafter, see that how you can impact the life of others, the people around.
Yeah.
And that is one thing, if you can do, if you can impact the life of few in your journey on this planet, I think you have lived your life.
Great,
So find the ways and means to impact the life of others. अपना तो सबको ही करता है, अपनी फैमिली के लिए सबको ही करता है, बट इफ यू कैन डू समथिंग फॉर अदर्स, I think that is the ultimate fulfillment for anybody.
And I
And
think being in the
I see that
army,
anybody can do anything, means everyone can contribute towards the society, towards others, in addition to
absolutely,
himself.
and I think it adds a lot of charm to you because being in the army, you have served the nation and the people of the nation, and now it's your turn to serve the country and the people of the world. So all the best to you, and
Thank you.
you're serving and helping the mid-career professionals. And I am pretty sure that the way you have rocked in the army, the courage and commitment you have shown, you're going to continue without a doubt. So all the best to you.
absolutely.
Thank you
Thank you
so
so
much.
much.
Thank you so much, Piyush. Thank you so much, Tausif. Pleasure to be
Thanks a
here.
lot. Thanks a lot for joining.